Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 20 October and a start of a small little challenge set by Inktober in cohorts with Open Heart 2020. If you haven't checked that out, guys, it is over on my Instagram, and I'm just going to give you a quick introduction of what I would like you guys to do for these next 3 days. If you are watching live, head over to my Instagram where there is a competition where I would like, obviously, trying to win. It's all to do with quality, so who knows what how well we're going to win on that one. But yeah, if you go over to the Instagram, and when I've posted today's picture, tomorrow's picture, and the 27th picture, today's word is dizzy. Tomorrow will be something else, as you always know. But today is day 24 of Inktober and the start of the challenge of Open Heart 2020. If you guys do want to support, definitely don't forget to leave a like on today's stream. But the support needs to go over to the Instagram post where they will be doing the judges over there. They'll take a look at this one, hopefully. But they are definitely going to be going over to Instagram, and that's where all the draws are going to be held, and I'll keep you up to date over there. There is a post already over there. Don't leave it like on that one, but the likes need to be on the post that I'll be putting up for the pictures. So today, like I said, it's day 25, and the word is dizzy, and I'm going to be doing a picture because it's for Open Heart. And guys, I've got to tell you a little tiny story about my story as well. We are going to be listening to a story today, as always, but I want to tell you a little bit about my journey with open heart surgery of my own. As when I was a kid, I was born with faulty heart disease and things like that, and hole in my heart, no bigger than say that in my actual heart. And as I got older, that hole grew as I grew, and they eventually were able to sort of patch it. But it didn't. It was only a temporary patch where the heart itself, all valves, because all the valves that were connected to my heart, this was before I was 13. All the valves, they took all my valves. There's the aorta, there's the pulmonary, and I can never remember the third. But they removed all three from my heart. They placed a stent on one, which was not a stent, sorry. They put a stent in to try and mend the holes that were in my valves after mending the hole in my heart. But they were not able to do so. So what they had to do was give me the very first triple bypass for my age, which isn't insane. I was the very, very first to have this done. Not in any record system, which is really horrible. But if you look up, I think the procedure is called Ross procedure. It's Dr. Russ who did it for me and created the procedure. He removed this one, and the other pulmonary whatever valve down there. Replaced it piece with a fake. At the time, it was groundbreaking, but now it's just every day. But a piece of silicon, which works as a valve. A piece of pig valve from their heart. So I'm kind of grateful to pigs. I don't really eat that much pig anymore. Not because of that. I don't know. Ever since having it, I don't really like the taste of pig. I love bacon. Don't get me wrong, and sausages. Yeah, but I wouldn't eat like a slab of pork, something like that. It just doesn't taste very nice to me. And then this one here was I think another replacement from around my body. So yeah, that managed to make my heart pump, but my heart doesn't pump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like everybody else. Mine goes 1, 5, 3, 4, 5, and whenever it feels like. So if you've ever heard of somebody say, "Oh, I'm having a palpitation," that's me every single day. But that's never held me back. I've always been just as strong as everybody else. But as I say, and that is another reason why I'm so bloody hairy as well, because they gave me the steroids to keep me going and to help me mend my heart. Like I said, it was the first to have it done, and it was called the Ross procedure. It was triple bypass, so that kind of tickled me into the point where, you know what, I really want to make this a good thing. So today's picture is going to be to doing with the Open Heart 2020 challenge, and because it was open heart. I've had open heart surgery. I would show you the scar, but you don't. Nobody wants to see my chest. I'm not ripped, and I'm not. I've got a little bit of dumpy dump, so no one wants to see my my chunky chunk. Really, by lifting my shed. I could show you it if you guys do want to see my scar, because it's a bit of a weird one. It looks like a zip down my chest with two little holes at the bottom where I had drainage. That was great fun to have removed when I was awake. But yeah, I had all that done when I was 13. I'm a bit of a legend in the sense of people that had it done the first time, because there was on the day after I had it done, because I was successful. The first day, and another 30 people had that operation done. Again, I think it's called the Ross procedure. I should have had a look up and asked my doctor, but it was like this was quickly on the whim. But I want to tell you, like I said, I wanted to tell you my little story because we're doing the heart Open Heart 2020 challenge over on Instagram, which is come from Inktober itself. So yeah, I've had open heart surgery. If you guys also have had open heart surgery, let me know your stories. Have you had the Ross procedure? And have you been able to keep it going more than I have? I've had it, like I said, I had it done when I was maybe on the verge of 13. Between 12 and 13, I had the operation. I was in hospital for like 6 months afterwards with septicemias and lots of things to say, you know, when you've had a bypass or operation on your insides, you generally get some sort of infection, and I got the infection. So I was in the hospital for about, I would say I was in Bristol Hospital because that's where I had it done. If you guys want to check out and look it up. Bristol Hospital, where I had it done. I was there for about 4 months afterwards, just getting recovery and coming out of all the bad things that were happening afterwards, like all the bugs and things that I wasn't allowed to get, but I still got anyway. I was secluded for about 3 months. Wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. Well, I was allowed to talk to people, but I wasn't allowed to exit my room. So I was like, lovely. So I'm secluded for about 3 months, and that is also where I began to start drawing on a almost professional. I want to do it this as a thing because you know, I nearly died. I wanted something to sort of something to do, because I knew I'd never be a builder. I knew I'd never be a runner. I knew I'd never be anybody that could strain themselves to the point, because if I strain myself, well, I would have died. Like I said, I've had that operation when I was 13. I'm now 35. I should have had another one when I was 18, or replacement pieces put in. I haven't had those pieces put in. Doctors are kind of like marveled by me, like, how haven't you? Because every other person that's had that operation the same day or that week, they've either died or they're very, very ill right now. I'm neither of those. Yeah, I'm still fit and strong as a 35-year-old can be, and I'm still kicking. So if you guys have had the operation, and you know what I'm talking about with the Ross procedure, those first 30 people out of those 30 people, I am the only survivor. But like I said, the people afterwards, I think it was all to do with you could say prompts to my parents and prompts to the people that kept kicking my ass to say get out of bed, and I was like, I want to get out of bed, I can't, I'm too ill. I would keep pushing myself and keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I have pushed all the way up till now. So yeah, guys, if you want to support me and you know you are enjoying this, definitely don't forget to go over to Instagram and leave a like on that stream, because that's all that matters on that stream. They're judging people with the amount of likes and obviously the craft of their artwork. Hopefully I've not done too badly so far. We've already done 23 days. We're on the 24th today. Day 1 was Ring. Day 2 was Mindless. Day 3 was Bait. Day 4 was Freeze. Day 5 was Build. Day 6 was Husky. Day 7 was that one. Day 8 was Frail. Day 9 was Swing. Day 10 was Pattern. I'm losing track now. Day 11 was Snow. Day 12 was Dragon. Day 13 was Ash. Day 14 was Overgrown. Day 15 was Legend. Day 16 was Wild. Day 17 was Ornament. Day 18 was Misfit. Day 19 was sling. Day 20 was was tread. Day 21 was treasure. Day 22 was ghost. And at 23, day 23 yesterday was something ancient. So yeah, today's word is dizzy. And well, what do you feel when you go for an operation? What is the last thing that you see and you feel before you go under the knife? Well, turning the phrase. Well, you feel a little bit dizzy. But why do you feel a bit dizzy? You feel dizzy because you get friggin' hell. Can't say the word, so here's my best guess at it. Anesthetist. The person that knocks you out before you go to sleep, before you have your operation, the one that gives you makes you numb in every sense and turns your brain off, so you're not feeling anything that's happening to you. So yeah, anesthetist. I can't say the word, but you kind of get what I'm doing. I will be taking a reference picture, but it's only so I can sort of take what everything kind of looks like. And we will be listening to another graphic novel. We're going to be listening to a zombie graphic novel today. As I'm going to be making this a theme for the next 3 days, I'm going to be trying to continue on from this picture to the next picture, and then the third picture to finalize the sort of whole series that we're going to be doing. So it's 3 pictures in 3 days, but they are going to be like not a comic, but something that's just sort of telling a little story, but it'll get darker as it goes on. As today's dizzy, tomorrow will be something else, tasty. So guess what's going to be happening tomorrow once you hear the playlist in a minute. And the last day is dark. But that is not the last day of Inktober. That's just the last day of the challenge. Again, guys, go over to Instagram and leave a like over there. But I had a picture, like I said, that I wanted to use. Pull up my gallery here. I thought myself, should I do that one there? And I was like, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of detail I'm going to have to put in there. And I don't feel comfortable in doing that for an hour and staring at that picture. So I've got that picture there. I'm going to try and go out so I can get it a bit bigger. Yeah, so I'm going to try and have a go at drawing the dude holding over the mask, ready to anesthetize. I can't say the word. Anesthetize me to go sleep to have the operation. And to be completely honest, you guys, I still see that image when I wouldn't say traumatized by it, but it's definitely stuck in my mind. The moment that I went to sleep, because also I remember the moment that I woke up and I asked, but apparently I asked first thing I asked for. I'm pretty sure I was just really, really, really thirsty, but I asked for some soup. So we'll see. We'll see what I asked for this time. But yeah, we're going to be getting on with that. We're going to be drawing that picture, this picture here, as best of my ability. Again, if you do like it, guys, don't forget to leave a like on today's stream. But definitely don't forget to go with Instagram. If you haven't already downloaded it, go do it. Go do it. Go get Instagram. Go follow me over there. Anyway, let's get this picture doing. Let's get that playlist in the background. My name's Blut084, BLUT084. Art and games. I'm every single day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram. If you do like what I'm getting up to, don't forget to check out all the playlists, and there will be links at the end if you're watching back. To all the playlists for the Creation Station and the rest of Inktober. Maybe some VR. As soon as this playlist starts. There we go, guys. Let's get that going.
Flies that I used to find in my middle school cafeteria sandwiches.
My free wine out there.
And when they're not, like a knuckle sandwich from your favorite childhood bully or one of the...
There you go. I'll start from the very beginning.
Los Angeles nights are only quiet when you forget that you want them to be. It's always a surprise, like a knuckle sandwich from your favorite childhood bully or one of those flies that I used to find in my middle school cafeteria sandwiches. And when they're not, they're filled with giggles, moans, depraved nonsense poetry that'll make you want to rip your own ears off if you listen to it for too long. And the occasional scream from another unlucky sucker who somehow found themselves caught while they were trying to sleep in the middle of the night. Most people don't know how to hide from them. I say that from experience. I've been with 3 other groups before this one, all trying to find some kind of sanctuary in the midst of all of this unexpected carnage, and each and every one of them were hunted down, torn apart, and left for the slow ones to munch on. Most people are completely unprepared for the night, which is why I'm somewhat thankful for the bunch of folks that I'm with now. I say somewhat because eventually they're all gonna die, including myself. And that'll make the bonds that we've created absolutely pointless. It's inevitable. I've never met a single person who lived content long enough to seriously brag about it in this increasingly shrinking world. And that bleak statistic isn't going to change anytime soon, if ever at all. I only hope that we all die painlessly when the time comes. Or as painlessly as possible, given what we're always up against. It's the least that whatever God is still watching over us can do. Most of the time, I imagine him jerking off to everything that's happened over the past few years. That's the only reason I can think of to explain all of the lingering chaos. God's a deplorable sadist who enjoys watching us all suffer. Fuck him.
No, should apologize. There definitely will be swearing in this one then.
Crawling up behind me. His heavy breathing is a serious problem, but he says that he's tried everything under the sun to get rid of it. I believe the fat pig. Despite his obesity and knack for horrible jokes, he's an honest enough man. You want to know the weirdest thing about him, in my opinion? His appearance to age ratio. He's 52, but looks like one of those jolly Belgian candy children. You know, with the rosy red cheeks, neat blonde hair, double chin, and permanent smile. The smile's forced, but a smile's a smile, right? He sounds like he's got something stuck up his chubby throat as he grunts while sitting down next to me. See any slow ones tonight? He asks, while reaching into one of his pockets for a candy bar. If there's one thing that he's always munching on, it's a candy bar. The last fucking thing that he needs to be stuffing his fat face with. Baby Ruths are his favorite, but he'll be happy with a Snickers or Crunch bar if he can get his grubby hands on one. I narrow my eyes at him sternly as he starts to greedily rip the silver and blue Ruth wrapper off the peanut candy. And he sticks his neck out apologetically and slows down. His sausage fingers are shaking as he delicately peels the wrapper off. The anticipation could kill the poor fucker. Oh, sorry, Jay, he says with an elevated pitch in his voice. I know I need to work on being more quiet, but God damn it, if this candy isn't the only thing I look forward to, now that everything else is gone. Say, you know what I'd be doing right now if the world wasn't, well, what it is? No, I say flatly. I don't like to talk to Lima much. He usually doesn't have anything worthwhile to say. But I read in a book once that it was good to let others around you express themselves in stressful situations. So I let him yap away sometimes. Anything to keep him sharper around me than he usually was. Who knows, he could end up saving my life one day. Or maybe he'd just get us both killed, who fucking knows. I'd be watching American Idol, he says dreamily. Maybe a season that had Madonna as one of the hosts. I just adore her. Adored her. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea if she's still alive, but I hope she is. I still want her autograph. Did you know that I learned how to vote just because of her? I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's a good thing that I don't care anyway. I let him continue. Not that I do it often, but she was one of the reasons that I ever learned to dance in the first place. I mean, one look at her and you just know she knows what she's doing on a dance floor. Everything is just so. He tilts his cantaloupe-shaped head and forms a repeating circle with his hands, trying to find the right words. So right on her. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think so. Oh, I know you do. You don't have to pretend, Jay. When was the last time that, you got any? I adjust my position in my chair as I try to relish the feeling of a cool breeze as it caresses my cheeks through the open window in front of me. I don't like to think about that. There are only 3 things that a man truly needs in this world: a full belly, something cool to drink, and a place between a woman's legs every now and then. They're the Holy Trinity, an equation that always leads to a man's sanity. I'm getting the first 2 as well as I can. No one eats well anymore, and not as far as I know. But anything scrumptious can be found if you're tenacious or imaginative enough. But the last one, that coveted sexual position that only a woman could create, I haven't had or even seen that in some time. Nearly 2 years, to be completely honest. And more than anything, more than the infected fucking crazies that want to peel my skin off and wear it like a suit, more than the stumbling dead that want to feast on my liver, and more than the uncertainty that I might not live another day, that one deprivation is driving me crazy. Well? Lima asks again. Come on, you could tell me. I can smell the peanuts and chocolate on his breath as he leans closer to speak into one of my ears. When was the last time that you got your cock sucked?
Okay, guys, this is going to be a bit of
I
an
roll
18
my eyes and
plus.
shrug my shoulders at him, a clue for him to back down. He's steadily gotten more aggressive on these night shifts, more suggestive. He's probably feeling all of the sexual intensity that I am, except in his own way. I lean forward to look through the lenses of my mounted infrared binoculars, way down into the darkness of the street below. We're camped in a deserted hotel suite for the next few days, in a hotel off of Hollywood Boulevard. It's called the Monroe, has 5 stories, and comes complete with a half-naked statue of the poor woman nearly bent over the street. Marilyn, I mean. I guess no one ever thought that children would want to take a quick peek up her dove white dress every now and then. Idiots. The self-proclaimed leader of our merry band, a tall East Indian fucker who calls himself Journey, found it after an uneventful midday patrol. He set us up on the 4th floor shortly after so that we could sleep safely in beds for a change. Showers were out of the question. It wasn't that the pipes didn't work anymore. Contrary to what you'd expect, they worked just fine most of the time. Could even have scalding water if you were lucky. It was just that water pipes made an awful lot of noise when the city wasn't bustling with activity anymore. Use too many showers or take too long under the water and the crazies would swarm like ravenous mice. He'd have gotten sparkly clean for nothing. It's been a long time, I say while keeping my eyes down on the street. I can hear Lima chuckle as he takes another bite from his candy bar. Fuck, is he loud. Maybe too long. But I'm not going to lose my mind just because no one else can get my dick wet but me. I can see a slow one emerging from out behind a nearby gas station through my binoculars. It was a young man once, no older than 30. One of his arms dangle uselessly next to his bloody hip. Looks broken beyond repair. Not that he needs it. As long as he can move his jaw and manipulate his spine, he's always going to be just fine. If a slow one loses a leg, then they can always hop. And when that's not an option anymore, they'll crawl, dragging themselves along the ground with their hands. And when that becomes pointless, they'll move like a worm on their bellies, or like the world's most disappointing snake. They're tenacious beyond belief. It'd be amazing, really, if I wasn't the one that they wanted to take a chomp out of all the time. Oh, you're a stronger man than I am, Lima huffs as I lean back and shake my head at the sight below. I touch myself all the time. I can't help it. I want a blowjob, or I want to give a blowjob so bad that it hurts sometimes. And when I think about it for too long, I'm reminded of Ricardo. I told you about Ricardo before, didn't I? He's told me only every time that we're on the same shift together. Every time. Yeah, you have. He gave me so much pleasure when we were together.
If this gets any worse, guys, we're like over 18, I might change it out.
Him, you know, of his smooth, olive-colored skin, the curves of his muscles, the forcefulness of his touch. You have no idea what it means to be manhandled until you're tossed around like a spare pillow by a... Hey, spare me the details, I say bluntly. I give him one of my I don't want to hear about your ass-obsessed lifestyle looks, and his jaw shuts tighter than a garage door. Look, I continue, taking a peek through my binoculars one last time to make sure that the slow one is still out in the open below. I get it. You're lacking in the meatpacking department. I know how it feels. I want to fuck a warm, drooling pussy more than I want to breathe sometimes, you know? But dwelling on it for too long, man, that'll do things to your head. It'll fuck with you.
Yeah.
Mess you up so much that you might start to consider doing something stupid.
I kind of like it, eh?
Great.
We're going to listen to it.
Lima's eyes widen.
I don't emphasize I'm for kids. I'm not for
while
kids. I'm
laying
an
a
adult.
hand on his drooping chest.
I'll just put an 18 sticker on it.
I never. Don't say never, I tell him sadly. I can't stop my brow from creasing as my head stimulates the creation of sights and sounds that I wish I could just forget. Don't ever say never. People do stupid things when they're desperate. Believe me, I know. Lima scoots closer to me and lays a hand comfortably on my bicep. Jay, have you ever... No, I say with conviction, shrugging him off. No, I'd never want to. You get a special seat in hell for raping, Lima. Do you know that? No, but I believe it, he says softly. A rare moment of silence passes between us, and for a second I'm almost thankful for his company. I read in a book once that in life or death events, even though a person's odds for survival increases when they're able to fend for themselves and survive alone, there's nothing more healing for the human mind than another person's influence. Even being with a deaf, dumb, and blind person can do wonders for your psyche if you've been alone for long periods of time. It's just a part of our makeup, it said. When you break everything down, atom by mysterious atom, we're social creatures at the end of the day. We need each other more than we can ever truly realize. The silence is fleeting, however, and just when I'm about to stand up and tell Lima that I'm going to get some shut-eye first, the familiar sound of a bastard clearing their throat infects the air. It's Journey. I can always tell. His throat-clearing skills are extra coarse, extra loud, and extra annoying. I peek over my shoulder to watch every inch of his 5'10", almond-skinned athletic frame slowly emerge from out of a nearby shadow. He's wearing a tight, blood-stained white t-shirt, a black pair of Champion cotton sweatpants, and some muddy white sneakers. I wouldn't be surprised if he was listening in on us. The man's a perpetual paranoia agent, always looking for an excuse to question what someone else is doing. He acts as if he's going to lose his grip on his desperate band of followers if he's not careful. I don't know when it's going to hit him, but none of these people are going to brave the wilderness and run off on their own anytime soon, especially considering that we've got a pregnant woman and an underage girl in our midst. They'd be sniffed out and gutted faster than you could sing your own birthday song. He reaches up to scratch his fine-haired beard as he strolls over and watches Lima take another bite from his candy bar. I raise an eyebrow at the sight of his normally combed to the side straight black hair. It's extra oily and out of place. More candy, huh? He asks Lima as the fat man gives him a chocolate-coated smile. A few peanut pieces sit on his sunlight yellow collared shirt. When are you gonna run out of those? Hopefully, never, Lima says as he turns away and stares at the wall. He hums to himself as he closes his eyes and loses himself in the sugary goodness of his primary source of calories. The real question, I say with a sigh as I stand from my chair and face Journey, is when the hell are you people going to learn how to be quiet? I point out of the window behind me with a thumb and frown. You keep clearing that scratchy throat of yours like you're doing, and they're going to hear you eventually. He smiles smugly at me and stands straighter, as if he's waiting for me to throw a punch at his jaw. I've considered it a few times. Trust me. Well, it's a good thing that we're underneath a roof then, isn't it? He responds. With 4 walls and windows. Things that tend to dampen sound so that I can clear my scratchy throat whenever I want to. The tone of his voice makes me bite down on my bottom lip annoyingly. He rehearsed that shit. Boys, Lima starts while rolling his blue eyes. As much as I'd like to see the two of you strip down and fight over me, and believe me, I really do, let's not argue too much tonight, okay? He nods past us towards the open room door, which is allowing a bit of light to dance in from the candles that were lit in the living room of the suite. It's the first time they've been able to lay their heads down in beds in I don't know how long. Let's not spoil this for them, okay? For all of his useless small talk, Lima's a born mediator. I only wish that I saw more of that side of him than the useless tub of lard that blocks half of my vision most of the time. But I nod my head in agreement and shrug at Journey. All right. I say smoothly as I give Journey a thorough once-over. I guess harmony is the word for the rest of the night. It should be the word all the time, he says while nodding over his shoulder. There's a glint of worry in his eyes. Rosa's in pain. She asked for you to come and sing to the baby again. He looks past me to raise an eyebrow at Lima. Are you okay with keeping watch alone for a few minutes? His eyes turn back to me and his chin rises slightly. Does he know how to use your binoculars? Lima grunts as he stands from his chair and plops down into my own. Of course I do, he sighs as he fumbles with his candy bar. It almost slips out of his grip as he reaches out to adjust the binoculars for his height. Just go and take care of Rosa, boys. I don't think any of us want that baby to show up before it's supposed to. I let Journey exit the room first as we make our way back to the middle of the suite. It's a well-decorated living space, nothing like the five-star suite in a Vegas resort, but it has its own charms. A Hollywood flair that has the scarlet painted walls lined with portraits of famous actors and profiles of some of the big-time studios that reside in LA. There's a modest kitchen next to the door that leads back out into the hall and an impressive entertainment system erected next to a wall of windows that look out into the night. Opposite Lima's lookout is another small room, complete with a working bathroom. I'm sure that everyone's been tempted to use it, but we've been relieving ourselves in various bowls and lidded Tupperware that were stocked in the kitchen. The toilets have an automatic flushing mechanism, so even being near them is out of the question. One sudden flush and half of the boulevard would know exactly where we are. To help keep everyone together, Journey and myself moved the beds from each room and placed them in the middle of the living space. Everyone will take turns keeping watch over the next few days, rotating in and out from where my binoculars are set up, since that's the only spot that looks directly out into the street. Thankfully, the row of windows next to the entertainment system came with dense sun curtains. Since we're using candles at night, we've drawn them, giving us both complete stealth and privacy. The first noise I hear as we exit a short hallway and round the corner to step into the dimly lit living room is the sound of Rosa's labored breathing. She's a short Mexican woman, beautiful beyond all expectation and with a caring heart of gold. If there was a single person who'd be forever untouched by all of the evil that coats the world now, it'd be her. A thin lavender purple sundress coats her tanned and obviously pregnant body. Her flowing black locks stick to the sweat that lines her forehead and runs down her face as she struggles to control herself in the throes of an unexplainable pain. From the looks of her massive belly, her baby, who her lanky red-headed husband, Saulo, thinks will be a boy, is due any time now. I'm honestly dreading the day of its arrival. Rosa and Saulo ended up pregnant in the middle of this Armageddon, which, although I can't judge them or come to any concrete conclusions, meant that they either didn't care for their own lives and the life of their quiet 11-year-old daughter, or that they had and maybe still have some fucked up obligation to ignore contraception because of something as useless now as religion. I was baptized in the Catholic faith, so I know a thing or two about their beliefs, and I knew that Rosa and her family were Catholics from the moment I'd first glimpsed her necklace, an item that she never fails to cling to when she isolates herself in prayer. I can see one half of the emblem, painted into the flat leather pouch that dangles from the well-worn string around her neck as she clutches it desperately. The Sacred Heart, a flaming human heart wrapped in a crown of thorns and speared by a lance. Her cracked lips are moving in the familiar rhythm of prayer, and her eyes remain tightly closed as Journey and myself walk over to stand at her bedside. I glance over at the still form of her daughter, Esperanza, who sits on a black leather couch a few feet away from us all, staring at the trembling body of her mother as she holds her hands in her lap. They're shaking. She's dressed in a long-sleeved black and red Chicago Bulls shirt and wears a long pair of tight denim jeans. The ocean blue color from the material has long faded away, giving it more of a clear summer sky hue. She's resting most of her weight on the balls of her flimsy blueberry ballerinas, the type covered in small white dots. Her mouse-like face is painted in a clear layer of anxiety as she watches on. I wonder if it's because she doesn't want the responsibility of becoming a big sister in this terrifying new world order. I know I wouldn't. As cute and full of promise as they may seem, infants are a guaranteed death trap for anyone involved. It's impossible to control how much noise they're likely to make and when they'll make it, and you'll never be able to leave them on their own. Worse than the fact that they'd never be able to fend for themselves. If separated, you could travel back to where you'd stashed the newborn and find its long, silent corpse getting face-fucked by a crazy. Babies stopped being good news a long, long time ago. Esperanza's hazel eyes are usually made of glass, blankly reflecting your image whenever you find yourself talking to her. She doesn't like to talk much on her own, but when she does, it's always short and sweet, straight to the point. I like that about her. Saulo gives Journey and I a mean look as we wait for Rosa's body to stop trembling long enough for her to open her eyes. She gives us as radiant a smile as she can muster as she weakly reaches out and clasps one of my hands. I avoid Saulo's gaze as I squeeze Rosa's fingers and return the favor with a half smile of my own. Hey, you, I say softly. Journey told me you were looking for Sinatra. Rosa laughs, clearly a painful effort. No, not Sinatra, she whispers. Just Blue Jay. Por favor, sing that melody again. She turns to look into Saulo's sagging brown eyes, which are heavy with emotion. The one our niñito loves. The pain always goes away after you finish singing. Okay, fine, I respond, clearing my throat. You just relax. This little boy's not going to be much without his mom, you hear me? Just relax. Rosa pulls my hand down her body and gently places it over her swollen belly. I can feel her unborn child as she prisons. He's got plenty of character already. The song that I sing to her is one that my mom used to sing to me as a little boy. I lived in northern Florida then, a part of the country that was cursed with never-ending seasons of torrential rain. I couldn't tell you why I was so afraid of it, but to a short twig of a kid like me who practically strangled himself as he tried to cover every inch of his body with the fluffy blankets that he got in a Christmas past, the rain was an elemental demon. The brute force of its sheets as it crashed into the window of my room again and again made me huddle uselessly in bed. And more often than not, I'd have to call my mom into my room, who'd end up singing me to sleep as the sound of the relentless rain continued to fill my ears, right behind the hypnotizing layers of her voice. I can feel the pressure leaving Rosa's grip on me as My song fills the air. Her baby loses some of its vigor as well. Everything is calm inside of his prison. I don't have much of a voice, but I do what I can, given her pain. As much as this world has changed me, I still hate to see women suffering. It's just not right. Eventually, the back of Rosa's head snuggles deeply into her bed, and Saulo, who I can tell still doesn't like looking at me for too long, nods his head in thanks before leaning forward to kiss his snoozing wife on her moist forehead. Even if he doesn't like me very much, I respect the love that he has for his woman. I've known too many men that were quick to abandon theirs for reasons that would make you scratch your head. Devotion is, unfortunately, something to be treasured. Not many people live with that code in their heads. Not in this world now, and not in the world of the past. Journey gestures over his shoulder for us to make our way towards Esperanza, and Saulo follows after kissing his wife on the hand. The flickering candles in the room create an assortment of short films on all of our faces as we stare at one another and wait for Journey to speak. He's frowning, biting down on his bottom lip. Something's wrong. How long does she have? He asks no one in particular, but Saulo sighs as he runs a hand through his short head of hair. I can see flakes of dandruff falling from his scalp as his hand drops and slaps uselessly against his thigh. No lo sé, he says wearily. No lo sé. She hasn't gotten much bigger than she is already lately, so I can only guess that our hijo is coming soon. How soon? Journey asks. He lifts his head and gives Saulo one of his serious looks, narrowing his eyes, grinding his teeth. Something's definitely wrong. Saulo leans back and tilts his head into his shoulders, wordlessly asking Journey why it's so important for him to know. Journey sighs and closes his eyes. He turns to glance at Esperanza, who looks at him puzzlingly from off her spot on the couch, and then addresses us all with a slight turn of his body. All of a sudden, the little girl is in our formation. And I tell myself, without a doubt, that something's fucking wrong. I need something concrete, Saulo. 1 month, a few weeks. I need to have something on the money because I'm telling you right now, we're moving soon. Far away. He blinks as the candlelight ignores his face for a moment, draping it in shadow. We can't keep living like this, he continues. Moving in and out of Los Angeles, it's not safe for us anymore. It's never safe, I say. You gotta give us more than that, man. I'm sure that Saulo, I nod at the frowning redhead, was kind of hoping that we'd be staying here longer than a few nights. It's not a bad gig despite the lack of toilets. I mean, there's an empty gas station across the street and not too far behind it is a CVS. There has to be a couple months worth of supplies at least. Journey doesn't respond and I get a bit impatient. What's really going on? Spit it out. Journey turns his head and stares at Rosa for a few seconds, prompting me to do the same. Her generous bosom slowly rises and falls with the rhythm of her breathing as she lays silently on her bed. She looks so peaceful. A man could forget that he was always surrounded by bloodthirsty walking corpses being with her. I went out on patrol tonight, he finally says, almost in a whisper. He nods at me while still concentrating on Rosa. Not too long after I put you on watch, Jay, I came back right when Lima crawled over to join me. There's a silence as we all wait for him to continue, but I ball my hands up into fists and struggle not to scold him during the wait. It was stupid for him to go out alone at night, especially while his group was in the shape they were in. What if he'd never come back? I honestly don't know what I would have done if he'd have gotten lost or worse, and found by some of the constantly searching crazies out there. The smart thing to do is to always consider leaving any useless concentration of survivors if need be. If there's one thing that I've learned while waking up and struggling in this fucked up world over and over again, it's that numbers don't guarantee survival. The silence around us mirrors the state of the rest of the world outside. There isn't a peep to be heard beyond our sun-draped windows. While I was out, I found another group, he says with downcast eyes. Of survivors, I mean. For the first time, Esperanza twitches to life and leans forward in anticipation. Her eyes widen as she almost breaks a smile. "Oh my God," she whispers breathlessly. "How many were there? Were there any girls?" Journey gets her attention, but his frown deepens as he drowns himself in her expectant eyes. He reaches out and pats her on the head before slowly shaking his own. There were about 12, maybe 13. I couldn't really tell. I was too far away and they weren't under any moonlight. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway how many girls they had, Esperanza. They were surrounded by a flock of crazies. The mood drops, as if someone had just told you that your dear old dad had been hit by a semi-truck and scraped along the worst side of the street. I'll get this out of the way now because it'll probably matter sooner or later. The world was lost practically overnight. I have no idea about who or what or exactly when. The only thing I know is that sometime after I almost finished what was supposed to be my next unsuccessful book, people everywhere just started ripping each other apart. There are two types of terrors that walk the earth now. Both of them would love nothing more than to get their violent hands on you or me, albeit for different reasons. The first kind are what we'd call the crazies, the infected. They're often covered in large, pulsing boils filled almost to the point of bursting with a pus-like fluid that can come in different colors. Most of the time, it's a disgusting kind of yellow, like an aging mustard or rotten cheese. But I've seen a few that had oil black boils, like a giant, oozing blackhead turned inside out on your body. Some of them know how to talk, but most of the time their English doesn't make much sense. It's as if they took a master class from the Mad Hatter on how to communicate with other human beings. The second kind are the stumbling dead. The slow ones, we call them slow ones. Mainly because they can't run like the crazies, although you could just as easily call the slow ones zombies. The weird thing about them is that, for lack of a better way of explaining it, they're an evolution of the crazy. Once an infected person dies, their body reanimates with an appetite for human flesh. Which brings me back to the crazy. An infected person won't eat you. They may bite you, scratch your face so many times that it ends up resembling a trampled pepperoni pizza, stab you with whatever they can find, and even torture you. But they won't eat you. At least as far as I know. And you could have a week-long argument with anyone regarding which one is worse, a crazy or a zombie, but what the infected lack in communication skills, they more than make up for in imagination. Bet you never tried to brainstorm how many different ways you could make a person scream with a Q-tip. Believe me when I say that if crazy has, they will. I saw that particularly gruesome example with my own eyes. That's what separates a crazy from a zombie. A zombie, well, they just want to rip your gut open and start munching on your stomach. But a crazy, they'll play with it as if it were a volleyball. Esperanza looks down and searches the ground for something that isn't there. The glossy bangs from her long black hair dangle down and obscure the rest of her reaction to the unfortunate news as she hugs herself. Saulo slowly makes the sign of the cross over his oil-stained car repairman's uniform, and I tisk. None of us need to ask, but I do anyway. And? Did any of them get away? Journey looks up from Esperanza's defeatist posture and smirks sadly. What do you think? 10 plus people versus a flock? That's a buffet to those sick fucks. Excuse me, Saulo. Esperanza, excuse me. No, I didn't stay long enough to admire the view. Once someone started screaming, I turned away and booked it straight back here. Who knows how many more crazies were attracted to the noise and eventually joined in on the fun. Saulo nods and whispers a prayer, but my mind is racing. Wait, I say, making sure to hold Journey's gaze. You came back here.
Give you a zoom in.
Journey shrugs. Yeah, so? You came straight back here.
So guys, if you remember what I was telling you at the very beginning, I have this image in my head every single day, or every night. And that's my phone ringing. So, I am going to have to end the stream here. So, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed today. Again, don't forget to go over to Instagram and leave a like over there. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. My name's Blut084, BLUT084, art and games. I should have put my phone on silent mode. I'll bring that back in a second. But yeah, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed it, and hopefully you're enjoying the story, because we'll be continuing on with the same story tomorrow, because this story has not finished. My story has not finished. So tomorrow we'll carry on with the next prompt for the challenge, which was Open Heart 2020. Again, go over to Instagram, leave me a like over there, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. I'll give you an actual zoom in now, because I wasn't expecting that phone call to happen. So there's the, let's get my reference up a second. I'll show you what I've been drawing from once more. Oh, now if I can do it. Oh, come on, phone, you're doing my head in. I don't care about your faffiness. Stop faffing. Turn, flip. Thank you. I'm a little bit narky without pressing ring me. So there's my reference image. And there is what I've drawn. Hopefully I've done it a little bit justice. Obviously it's not completely like it, but as close as I'm going to be able to get it. So if you do like it, guys, again, go over to my Instagram, leave a like on that post that I'll be posting in the next 20 minutes or so, and show me some support and see if I can win this challenge. Probably won't, but I'm going to have a good old go. Hopefully, again, click those links that will appear if you want some more artwork from either Inktober or from any other drawings that I've done digitally or virtually. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.